This happened to me too, 3 years ago. I was 23 at the time, female, and I live in Romania. One night I was coming home from class. Masters. Classes start after 6 p.m. and end at 10 p.m. I had to take the subway for about 12 stops. The destination I had to get off at was the end of the subway line. At that time, there wouldn't be many people in the subway. I'm a pretty lonely person. All I need is my headset and my music, and I am good to go. Said and done, I plug in my music. I pick the furthest chair in the subway, away from the only two people that were taking the subway with me at that time. So far, so good, until I see, from the corner of my eye, a silhouette approaching me and sitting right next to me. It was a man, fairly built, dark hair, wearing glasses, a black shirt with a black hoodie, and a sickening smile. He doesn't engage in talking with me, but would just stare at my phone as I would browse through my music. I can hear him breathe heavily, not like painfully, like he was feeling something very strong. I felt uneasy, so I decide to change my seat and go even further behind, trying to avoid him without looking like a freak myself. I pick a new chair, sit down, plug my headset again, and proceed with the remaining 6 stops on my way home. I see the silhouette growing bigger and bigger, and goosebumps running on my skin as I realize the guy is again sitting right next to me, glancing in mid-air, dead eyes, a big smile, staring right into my phone. I panic. There are still 4 stops to go. I have nowhere to hide. I look at the other person in the subway, hoping to sit next to her, thinking that strength comes in numbers. She's no longer there. I start shaking a bit, but not allowing the creep to notice I'm feeling vulnerable. I stand up, go to the door, and just decided to stand until my stop comes. This way he won't sit next to me, right? Wrong. He comes straight at me, sits on the chair right near the door, and because he couldn't see my phone, on which he was so focused so far, from that angle he fixates on me right to my soul with his black dead eyes, and says, "Hi, gorgeous. Why are you avoiding me?" I am freaking out as I look at my phone trying to call my boyfriend or message him, and he stops me by saying, "I know no one will help you. You would have sent an SOS by now. I know you didn't." In that moment I realized I was cornered. He has been focusing on my phone to see who I was talking to, trying to figure out if I panic, trying to see if I would ask someone for help. He cornered me bad. Fortunately, I reached my stop. I would delay any reaction or ignore him so that he would repeat whatever he wanted to say. I got off and ran for the exit, not looking back. I get out at the surface and I don't see him anymore. At this moment, I put my phone in my purse and realize I had pepper spray with me all along. My heart rate goes back to normal as I know, at least I have something to defend myself with, but still a long way to get home, and who knows if he is alone or not. I walk rather fast for maybe 5 minutes from the metro and feel a hand grabbing my wrist hard and pulling me back. Another hand covering my mouth, disabling me from screaming. It was him. The same black hoodie, dark hair, and dead eyes stalker. He was furious and said, "Running from me? How dare you run away from me? You should be honored I give you attention." I am fairly built for a woman, 80 kilogram and 1.75 meters tall, so I guess he thought men don't find me beautiful or something and should feel blessed a creep like him stalks me and tries to hurt me. Now my phone is in my bag. I can't call the police. I can't reach for the pepper spray. I panic. I can't punch him in the crotch. I can't scratch him as I don't have long nails. His hand is still on my mouth. What do? I did the most desperate and disgusting thing I could think of just to save my life. I played along. I used my other hand to touch the inside of his thigh and mumble, "I'm sorry," while his hand was on my mouth. He took his hand off my mouth and I repeated that I'm sorry. I didn't realize he was just flirting. He let his guard down and took his hand off my wrist. He asked me for my phone number and address to drop me off, but I refused, saying I'd rather add him on Facebook, and he agreed. I told him I'd reach for my phone, but instead picked the pepper spray and got him sprayed all over his face, made sure I'd cover his both eyes, nose, mouth, even his ears and hands. He instantly turned red, suffocating from the pepper and swelling. I called the police, told them what happened and what I did. They asked me if he is immobilized, and I said yes, as the effect wears off in 45 minutes. The police arrived there 5 minutes later. I was shaking like a leaf, and the man on the ground, swollen like a pumpkin, vomiting and swearing at me between gasps of breath. He was arrested, and the police told me they have been looking for him for the past week as they discovered the body of a 24-year-old woman in his apartment. Fairly built lady, 1.77 meters tall, 75 kilograms, red hair. I have red hair too. The woman was his girlfriend, and ever since, he's never been back to the apartment. I don't know what he wanted to do with me. I can understand why he targeted me due to the similarities, but stranger in the subway stalking women at midnight trying to befriend them or, even worse, murder them. I hope you and I never meet again.